Hey, what's up? Today we're gonna do another episode of album ranking where I talk about a band's discography and put it all in a tier list. For what reason? I don't know why. I guess I just like it, you know. It's fun making videos. So this obviously you could tell from the title and from the thumbnail. Yes, today's episode is about Nickelback. The reason why it's Nickelback, why I'm talking about them at all, is because I was debating either doing this video that I'm doing right now or doing a different video in place of it, basically talking about why Nickelback has the reputation that they do. But I feel like I can answer that pretty easily. It's just because they became so popular so fast and their songs became so overplayed on the radio that, I mean, people just get sick of hearing about them. And, I mean, that's about as far as that goes. It's just, and I mean, they're not the best rock band ever, you know, and definitely in terms of even 2000s butt rock, you could definitely do a lot better, in my opinion. You know, bands like Seether, Breaking Benjamin, early 3 Days Grace, even, dare I say it, Five Finger Death Punch. But if you guys want, that actually could be the next episode, is Five Finger Death Punch. But yeah. Let's just get into it. It's gonna look, the list is actually gonna look a little different because, one, I'm using Opera GX now. Well, I'm in the process of converting all of my Google Chrome data into Opera GX just to have a better, smoother experience and with less ads on the screen. So obviously this looks a much cleaner, and I also cropped out some of the windows so you can't really see what's going on, and I am pulling up a list of all the albums so I can refer to the track listing of each record and talk about the songs I like, things I don't like about each album. And yeah, let's just go straight up. Oops, I almost played it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get copyrighted. Let's talk about their very first album, Curb, which I realized this is out of order, so we're gonna fix that. So we got Curb, The State, Silver Side Up, Long Road After That, All the Right Reasons, Dark Horse, Here and Now, and then we're good. All right, we're just putting in all the albums in chronological order, so that way it doesn't get confusing. So we've got their debut album called Curb. It came out in 1996, and it's okay. It's fine. It's not too bad, but you know, it's all right, I guess. There are some decent songs on it. Namely, Little Friend is fine. Really, the first 4 songs on this album aren't bad, but Fly is a decent song too. Just For is also fine. I think we're going to put this in the C tier because, I mean, it's fine, but as far as 90s post-grunge goes, you could definitely, this isn't something that you wouldn't have heard done better on, say, like a Foo Fighters album or any of the other veteran grunge acts during the time. So yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about their second album, The State. Although The State is an improvement, I will say. The State is an improvement on Curb, but that isn't saying a lot. Breathe and Leader of Men are probably the 2 songs that people know best, and they're pretty good songs. Leader of Men kind of gives almost like a Tool vibe, like a more like dumbed down version of Tool, because obviously Tool is way progressive. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of where, I mean, a lot of people criticize Nickelback, and I will criticize Nickelback for Chad Kroeger's really sus lyric writing. Like, some of the stuff, like, there's a song on The State called Old Enough, and it's just icky. Like, I don't know, I just don't like listening to it for that reason. So I think we're going to put The State in C tier, and I think it is an improvement from Curb, so I'm going to put it up there. So yeah, so basically the album, how I have it is that the album closest to the actual letter is the best one, and it just goes from best to worst. There, just so everybody knows that. All right, now this is where it gets fun, because now we've got the 2001 record, Silver Side Up. And I will say, Silver Side Up is a decent album. The main issue with it, though, is that it is extremely front-loaded. Like, the first 5 songs on this album are pretty good. Never Again, How You Remind Me, obviously the big song that everybody knows. Woke Up This Morning, Too Bad, and the re-recorded version of Just 4 are all pretty solid tracks. And I also like Where Do I Hide? I think that song, I like the riffage in that song. And I think that's a really underrated aspect of Nickelback, is the guitar playing. Chad Kroeger and Ryan Peake are pretty badass guitar players, I will say. They're not incredible. They're not Steve Vai levels, of course, or nothing like that. But I mean, they hold their own and they write some pretty good riffs together. So I think we're gonna put Silver Side Up. I think it's comfortable staying in B tier. Again, first 5 songs are really good, and then the other songs are just kind of alright. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. Now we've got The Long Road from 2003. And this is, I would say this is a bit of an improvement, but I think that's partly because I feel like the good tracks are spread out a bit evenly. They're not all towards the front. You know, we've got songs like Flat on the Floor, which is the album opener, which is quite good. Someday, the big song from this record. Also, Figured You Out is about halfway through the track list. The less said about the lyrics, the better, but the instrumental's pretty good, I will say. Believe It or Not is fine. Because of You is fine. Feeling Way Too Damn Good is alright too, I guess. I should probably have it in my liked songs. But yeah, I don't think the highs are as high as Silver Side Up, but I think it's a bit more consistent in its track listing, like in its quality. And I think so. We're going to also put The Long Road in B tier. Now, I feel like All the Right Reasons is where Nickelback really finds their sound, and they really play into their strength of just being a solid hard rock band. Now, I would say this album is almost perfect. Well, as perfect as a Nickelback album can be, because I mean, let's be real, they're not that great. But I shouldn't say that. They're a solid band, but not amazing. There are 2 songs I feel like really holding back All the Right Reasons, and that's obviously Photograph. It's fine. Like, I like the instrumental, but just, I don't know. Chad Kroeger Chad Kroeger is no poet, so a lot of his lyric writing just gets kind of like, it either gets really weird or gets just really dumb. And Photograph is kind of the take on like a reminiscing song, like trying to leave the past behind, I guess. And I don't know, but and Someone That You're With, but I think that's just because Someone That You're With is just really not that great of a song. Anyways, but Rockstar is hilarious satire, which I don't know, which for some reason people still think that song is genuine, and it's not. As far as, I mean, this album is almost metal in some points. Like, there's the song Side of a Bullet, which is about Dimebag Darrell's murder, which also features a leftover solo of his. Next Contestant is fine. Follow You Home and Fight for All the Wrong Reasons. Those are decent openers. Follow You Home is actually pretty heavy. Even the ballads on this album, like Saving Me, Far Away, If Everyone Cared, they're fine. Like, they're not like, I wouldn't turn them off. Like, if, like, I would definitely listen to Far Away and Saving Me at least anytime they come on, if I want to listen to that side of Nickelback. Which, yeah, you can kind of see how Nickelback kind of has 2 modes. They either go all out heavy ass hard rock, almost metal, or just really sappy like pop songs. And I mean, they're fine at doing both, but yeah. So I think we're gonna put, you know what? I think in terms of Nickelback albums, All the Right Reasons is absolutely S tier. Would I consider an S tier album? No. I would say, I wouldn't even say objectively, but I'd say on an actual scale, it's an A tier, but for Nickelback standards, it's an S, definitely. And so this is where, so we've got Dark Horse next. This is the next album, 2008, and this is where one of my main issues with Nickelback starts to appear, and it's because it's with the structure of the track list. See, almost every Nickelback album onwards, including Dark Horse, starts off with the first two songs are really heavy, and then it goes pop. I don't get that. I like seriously, listen to the first two songs on almost all these albums, and then listen to track 3. It's basically pop. And I mean, I don't have a problem with pop music. It's not that I hate pop music or anything like that. I don't. There's actually some great shit there, and I'd say Nickelback is fine at doing it. It's just, it doesn't feel very, I don't know, it just doesn't feel that great. And it's like, okay, yeah, you got the first 2 tracks to really hype you up, and then just the vibe just dips down, and I'd rather have them make a more consistently like kind of softer pop album, or do just an all-out heavy album instead of trying to do both. But I will say, out of all the pop songs that they've done, Gotta Be Somebody is up there. That is a great song. But I really like the first 2 songs, Something in Your Mouth and Burn It to the Ground. Burn It to the Ground is actually the first Nickelback song I ever heard, so it'll always be one of my favorites, purely because of that. Next Go Round is fine, even though Chad Kroeger cannot write sexy lyrics at all. Like, I don't know, anytime Nickelback tries to write a song about sex, it's just like, it just sounds either really weird and pervy, or just like overly raunchy. Like almost like you're reading like a 50 Shades of Grey novel, and it's just like, eh. But that's probably just a me thing, so I know some people don't mind it, and it sucks too, because a lot of these songs have fucking banger instrumentals, like SEX. If you took all the vocals out and all the lyrics out, the song slaps. The song absolutely slaps, but the lyrics make it so much worse. But yeah, overall this is a decent album. Just to Get High is pretty underrated too. I didn't got that, and I like This Afternoon. It's a fun song, just about chilling with the boys. I like it. I like it. So I think we're gonna put Dark Horse. I think we're gonna put an A. For Nickelback standards, it's an A tier. And so now we've got the next album, Here and Now, from 2010, I want to say. 2011, I mean, sorry. Again, it kind of has the same issue that Dark Horse has, where the first 2 songs, This Means War and Bottoms Up, are pretty heavy, pretty driving rock songs. And then the next song, When We Stand Together, is pop. Or at least has more of a pop rock kind of feel. And that's not to say anything about the quality, because I like these first 3 songs. They're great. But especially This Means War, which is my favorite song on the album, and honestly probably my favorite Nickelback song of all time. It's so fucking heavy. No, seriously, like, listen to it. It's heavy as balls. It's got balls. Bottoms Up is fun. Midnight Queen is alright. Gotta Get Me Some. I like the riffs in it. I think the guitars. Again, I think the guitars are the best part of Nickelback's music. But I mean, I'm a little biased because I'm a guitar player myself. But yeah, it starts off really strong, but I feel like it kind of ends on a whimper, because the last 4 songs are just kind of eh. I won't ever go out of my way to listen to most of this album, but I do like it. I would say overall I like the album, but the first half is really, really where it's at, in my opinion. And so I think we're gonna put, I think we're gonna put Here and Now in B tier, and we're gonna move Silver Side up to A. I think that's fair. And so we've got No Fixed Address from 2014. Now this album I have problems with. Again, same issue exists, but the problem is even worse. There's more pop songs on this album. Like this is easily the lightest album that Nickelback has ever done. Million Miles an Hour, Edge of a Revolution, those are great songs. And then the first two ones on the album. I like Get 'Em Up too. It's pretty catchy. For some reason, She Keeps Me Up is really popular. I have no idea why, because it's not really that good. And honestly, the less said about Flo Rida's feature on Got Me Running Around is probably for the better. Sister Sin, I feel like, is also a really weird closing track, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think this is Nickelback's worst album, or at least it's up there. Cause here's the thing about The State and Curb is that like they're decent albums when you're listening to them, but they're just kind of forgettable. But No Fixed Address is like, I don't really want to come back to this album like at all. It'll probably be a long time before I ever listen to the whole thing again. And now we've got to the most recent album, Feed the Machine. And this album's actually pretty good. Actually, this album's quite good, surprisingly. It's certainly heavier. Like, the heavy songs are certainly far heavier than usual. The title track, which is the first song on the album, is incredible. Again, one of my favorite Nickelback songs of all time. Coin for the Ferryman's pretty cool too. The lyrics to Must Be Nice are really fucking dumb, but it's catchy. You gotta admit, Nickelback writes some catchy ass fucking songs. For the River is pretty good too. I like that one. Home is actually pretty decent for a ballad. Silent Majority's fine. The Betrayal Act 3. Ooh, that song is really heavy. And I also like the Betrayal Act 1, which is the closing song, which is a bit lighter. I don't know why they chose that for a closing. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why the acts are out of order and why there's no Act 2, but maybe they've explained that, but I don't know. But honestly, this is one of Nickelback's best albums. I wouldn't say it's not as consistently good as All the Right Reasons, but honestly, I think we're going to put it in S tier also, for Nickelback standards again. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling pretty good about this list. So we've got All the Right Reasons, Feed the Machine in S tier, Dark Horse and Silver Side Up in A tier, Here and Now and The Long Road in B tier, The State and Curb in C tier, and No Fixed Address in D tier. I'm feeling pretty good about this. If you guys have a Nickelback tier list that isn't all the albums in F tier and you would like to share it with me, put it in the comments. I will certainly read it sometime and maybe respond. I don't know. But well, that's really it. That's about it. See ya.